Hi friends, have great pleasure in meeting you after a long break through this video. So in this video we are going to discuss about the hypothesis testing. Before dwelling into the concept of steps in discussing the hypothesis testing, let us see the two branches of statistics. Statistics has two branches, namely descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. This hypothesis testing is coming under inferential statistics. What is inferential statistics? It is concerned with using probability concept to deal with uncertainty in decision making. So here we use probability concept to make a decision, particularly to deal with uncertainty in decision making. It has two different classes of problems. One is hypothesis testing, that is to test some hypothesis about parent population from which the sample is drawn. And the second type of problem which is dealt with by this inferential statistics is estimation. Estimation is calculating, that is estimating the unknown population parameter from the sample statistics. Here the sample is drawn from this parent population, and the steps in testing the hypothesis, that is the procedure consists of 5 steps. It's a 5-step procedure. First one is setting up a hypothesis. This is followed by setting up a suitable significance level, and then setting up test criterion. Once these 3 steps are over, we have designed a statistical test. Completely designed statistical test is over. Then this is followed by computing the test statistic, that is doing computations, and finally making decision. The first step in testing a hypothesis is to set up a hypothesis. The conventional approach to hypothesis testing is not to construct a single hypothesis about the population parameter, but rather to set up 2 different hypotheses. These hypotheses must be so constructed that if one hypothesis is accepted, the other one is rejected, vice versa. The 2 hypotheses in a statistical test are normally referred to as null hypothesis, denoted by H0, and alternative hypothesis, HA. The null hypothesis is a very useful tool in testing the significance of difference. It is in its simplest form, the hypothesis asserts that there is no real difference in the sample and the population in the particular matter under consideration. For example, if we want to find out whether extra coaching has benefited the students or not, we shall set up the null hypothesis that extra coaching has not benefited the students. Similarly, if we want to find out whether a particular drug is effective in curing a disease, we will take the null hypothesis that the drug is not effective in curing the disease. In its simplest form, we can state there is no significant difference between sample mean and population mean. And alternative hypothesis is there is significant difference between sample mean and population mean. So in its first form, that is to say in the null hypothesis, we are framing the hypothesis negatively. There is no significant difference. And once this is rejected, it leads to the acceptance of the alternative hypothesis. Second step in testing the hypothesis is setting up a suitable significance level. Having set up the hypothesis, the next step is to test the validity of H0 against HA at a certain level of significance. The confidence with which an experimenter rejects or retains a null hypothesis depends upon the significance level adopted. The hypothesis may be tested at 5% level of significance or 1% level of significance. What is the significance level? What does it mean? The significance level is customarily expressed as a percentage, such as 5%. It is the probability of rejecting the null hypothesis if it is true. If it is tested at 5% level, that means there is a probability or likelihood of rejecting the null hypothesis if it is true. That is, on out of 100 occasions, there is a probability of making a wrong decision only on 5 occasions. 95% confidence level, 5% significance level. So, when the hypothesis in question is accepted at 5% level, the statistician is running the risk that in the long run, he will be making the wrong decision about 5% of the time. By rejecting the hypothesis at the same level, he runs the risk of rejecting a true hypothesis in 5 out of every 100 occasions. By testing at the 1% level, he seeks to reduce the chance of making a false judgment. But some element of risk remains 1 out of 100 occasions that he will make the wrong decision. That is, he may accept where he ought to have rejected or vice versa. This diagram illustrates the region in which we would accept or reject the null hypothesis when it's being tested at 5% level of significance and a two-tailed test is employed. This diagram illustrates how to interpret a 5% level of significance. It may be noted that 2.5% of the area under the curve is located in each tail. The third step in hypothesis testing procedure is to construct a test criterion. This involves selecting an appropriate probability distribution for the particular test, that is, a probability distribution which can properly be applied. Some probability distributions that are commonly used in testing procedures are T, F, and chi-square. Test criteria must employ an appropriate probability distribution. For example, if only small sample information is available, the use of the normal distribution would be inappropriate. So in that case, we have to use the t-test, which is applicable to small samples. The fourth step is doing computations. Having taken the first 3 steps, we have completely designed a statistical test. We now proceed to fourth step, that is performance of various computations from a random sample of size n necessary for the test. These calculations include the testing statistic and the standard error of the testing statistics. For example, if we want to find out the significance of difference between the 2 sample means of size 10 and 15, then we have to employ t-test and we have to apply the formula for the testing statistic. T is equal to x1 bar minus x2 bar divided by s into square root of n1 into n2 divided by n1 plus n2. Once the computation of test statistic is over, the next task is to compute the standard error. What is this standard error? Standard error is nothing but the computation of the standard deviation of the sampling distribution. So we have to compute the standard deviation of the sampling distribution. In our example, we have applied t-test, a test statistic for the probability distribution which is following this t-test. So combined the standard deviation for this, the standard error for this test statistic is the computation of the standard deviation. So standard deviation here is equal to square root of sigma x1 minus x1 bar the whole square plus sigma x2 minus x2 bar the whole square, the whole thing divided by n1 plus n2 minus 2. So this is all about the computation. So in computation, in this fourth step, we are identifying the probability distribution, identifying the type of test which is applicable to the problem in hand, computing the test statistic applicable to that probability distribution, and then computing the standard error for that distribution. Finally, as a fifth step, we may draw statistical conclusions and take decisions. A statistical conclusion or statistical decision is a decision either to reject or to accept the null hypothesis. The decision will depend upon whether the computed value of the test criterion falls in the region of rejection or the region of acceptance. If the significance value of the test is greater than the predetermined significance level, then we accept the null hypothesis. In other words, if the calculated value is lower than the table value, we accept the hypothesis. If the significance value is less than the predetermined value, then we should reject the null hypothesis. In other words, if the calculated value is greater than the table value, then we reject the null hypothesis. So once we accept the null hypothesis means we are rejecting the alternative hypothesis. If we reject the null hypothesis means we are accepting the alternative hypothesis. Okay friends, thank you for watching.